Hey, I'm Joe with RevZilla, and today we're going to take a look at the Moose Racing Easy Pull Clutch System available at RevZilla.com. So Moose Racing got started in the mid-'80s in the Colorado Rockies by a group of off-road riders who are looking for apparel and parts and accessories for their off-road motorcycles to fill the void compared to what was offered to motocross riders back then. So that brings us to the Moose Easy Pull Clutch System. Now this device is designed to be used with cable clutch operated motorcycles. This will not work with a hydraulic clutch motorcycle. So, of course, you could use this on a street bike that has a cable clutch, but this is really aimed at off-road riders to take the pressure that's required to pull your clutch in away and alleviate some of that stress that your arm's up against when you're pulling your clutch in a million times on an off-road ride. You know, the reason that that's really important, of course, is because, you know, we're not only pulling our clutch in to shift gears off-road, we're slipping the clutch to find traction in slippery areas, and also slipping that clutch to get that explosive power to do a steep climb, or maybe come out of the corner on the pipe on a two-stroke bike. So, of course, a bike that really has a heavy clutch will really wear you out, and you'll get that arm pump, and it makes it really hard to control the bike. So this device remedies that issue. Now it comes in around 42 bucks, pretty fair price considering that there's no plastic or anything in this. This is all metal, it's a die-cast aluminum. We'll get into construction in a second. But another thing to consider is that Moose Racing offers another product called the Easy 3 clutch lever. So instead of an inline device like this to decrease the amount of effort required to pull the clutch in, it's just a replacement lever. So the only really downside of that is that then the levers won't match. So you'll have a different type of brake lever versus the clutch lever, but it really does the same thing. Now, as far as the fitment goes, of course, we talked about cable clutch only, of course, but if you go to measure your clutch ferrule, now this one comes in around 8 millimeters, which is fairly common for the size of clutch cable that's included on a dirt bike. You may find certain bikes that have smaller or larger clutch cables might not work with the device, but this is really the most common size clutch cables that are found on those types of motorcycles. Now again, it is a die-cast aluminum body with the internal lever, of course, is die-cast as well. And what I thought was nice is that it does include two barrel adjusters, one where the OEM cable will go, and then of course one on the end of the replacement cable that comes with it. And then of course you're going to have the barrel adjuster on your OEM clutch lever as well. So you have three different places to take up the slack in the cable when you go to adjust it. Another thing to consider is that it includes another piece of cable. So it's a little bit shorter interior cable. So if you're finding that even with all those three different points of adjustment that you're unable to take up that slack, you could always just try the shorter cable in it. It does include two rubber boots to help keep the mud and water out of it too, which I thought was nice. And also one other thing is that Moose Racing offers a replacement cable for just 11 bucks. So once this cable does get worn out or broken, you could just buy a replacement short segment of cable with the barrel adjuster already installed on it, instead of having to buy the whole thing over again. Now, when we talk about installation, I found that it only took me about 15 or 20 minutes to put this on my old Yamaha. I wanted to try out to see how much reduction in lever pull it did give me. So just one thing to consider is that your OEM cable or whatever cable that's already on your bike, you want to be sure that that's in good shape. If you've never replaced it and it's got a million hours on it and it's been full of mud 100 times, you really want to probably replace that OEM cable to be sure that that thing is operating freely. Because if you put this on in conjunction with a beat up old cable, it's still not going to feel that great anyway. So just ensure that your factory cable is in good shape and lubricated and adjusted properly before you begin. Now, as far as adjustment goes, you'll want to make sure that when you go to set it up, that you have the same amount of free play at the tip of the clutch lever as you normally would. Generally, that's about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. You don't want to have that cable preloaded because then you're essentially riding the clutch all the time, which could potentially make it slip. So just be sure when you go to set it up, just adjust it like you normally would without the device in place. The only thing I can really pick on the device about is that it didn't come with printed instructions. Now, if you go to our product detail page, you'll be able to click the resources tab there, and you'll see a PDF that you could download or print out yourself, even before you commit to buy the device, just to see what you'd be up against there. But it would have been cool if it was included in the package, of course. But another thing to consider is that it does add about 5 inches of total length end to end. So you'll need to take up that slack elsewhere. You don't want your clutch cable to go way up past your throttle and back across your handlebar handlebars, you'll probably end up sliding that OEM cable down underneath your gas tank a little bit so everything fits nicely. Now you could zip tie this, of course, to the crossbar of your handlebars, but it's perfectly fine to just hang in line. It's not a very heavy piece at all. So pretty neat device, of course, from Moose Racing that again will help you reduce the amount of effort required to pull the clutch in on clutch cable style motorcycles. Now, if you'd like to see what other riders have to say about the device, click the info button on your desktop or mobile. And if you have any other questions about this or anything else you see on our website, give our Gear Geeks a shout at 877-792-9455 or shoot an email over to cs@revzilla.com. Thanks for watching our video today about the Moose Racing Easy Pull Clutch System. I'm Joe, and I'll see you next time.